If a high ticket client landed on your website right now, would they feel the luxury or quietly click away? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. High-level clients decide how they feel about your brand in a split second. Not after reading your about page, not after getting on a discovery call with you, and not after hearing your story. They decide the moment your website loads or doesn't. And most entrepreneurs have no idea the subtle design signals that instantly tell a client whether a brand is premium or amateur, which is why so many brilliant business owners end up with websites that technically look nice, but still fail to command high-end pricing. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 luxury website design tips that instantly elevate how your brand is perceived online. These are the exact design principles I use when building high-end websites for my clients, so their brands don't just look good, they feel expensive. If you care about attracting higher level clients and positioning your brand at a more premium level, go ahead and hit like. And let's get into the 7 website design tips that instantly make a brand look high-end. If you're new here, I'm Mariah, an award-winning luxury brand designer and business coach. I help women build high-ticket coaching and consulting brands with elegance, intention, and strategy that actually supports the way they want to work, not the way the internet tells them they should. On this channel, we talk about luxury brand positioning, perceived value psychology, and the strategic decisions that make high-ticket clients trust you faster. So if you care about building a brand that commands respect instead of begging for attention, make sure you hit subscribe. Now, let's talk about your website, because whether you realize it or not, your site is communicating something about your brand the moment it loads. And most entrepreneurs are sending signals they never meant to. The real reason luxury websites feel different. When I audit a website for a potential client, I know within a split second whether the brand is positioned as premium or not. And interestingly, it's not because of one obvious mistake. It's a feeling, and anyone can sense it, even if they're not a designer. The site either feels calm, confident, and intentional, or it feels crowded, noisy, and a little bit desperate for attention. Luxury brands almost always lean toward what I call an editorial design style. Think about a high-end fashion magazine. There's space, there's breathing room, there's confidence in what's being shown. The design isn't about shouting, it's inviting. Whereas a lot of DIY websites look more like someone tried to fit everything they know about their business onto one screen, which leads to the first luxury design principle. Tip 1. White space creates authority. Luxury brands use space strategically. White space, also called negative space, is one of the biggest signals of perceived value in design because space communicates confidence. When a website allows room around text, images, and sections, it immediately feels more editorial and more elevated. Overcrowded websites do the opposite. They create visual stress, and that stress makes a brand feel less trustworthy, even if the service itself is excellent. Tip 2, stop over-explaining everything. One of the biggest mistakes I see on websites is over-explaining. Entrepreneurs often feel like they need to justify their expertise, describe every detail, and answer every possible question immediately. But luxury brands don't operate that way. They assume the right client will lean in. When a website is trying too hard to convince someone, it often feels less premium. So instead of overloading your pages with text, focus on clarity and intentional messaging. Less explanation often communicates more authority. Here's why fun design often looks amateurish. Now, this next one might feel a little contrarian because a lot of entrepreneurs think the way to make their brand stand out is through creative or playful design choices. But what actually happens is the opposite. Great design is invisible. There's a famous idea in the design world that says the best design is the kind you don't notice. It supports the message without competing with it. And this brings us to the next two website design tips. Tip number 3, choose fonts that support the brand. Fonts carry a lot of psychological weight, but I often see DIY websites using what I call fun fonts. Decorative, playful, sometimes or most times hard to read. And the moment a premium buyer lands on that page, the brand immediately feels less serious. Luxury websites usually rely on timeless typography, clean serif fonts, elegant sans serifs, and restrained combinations of both. The goal is sophistication, not novelty. Tip number 4, use a controlled color palette. Color is another place where luxury brands practice restraint. Instead of using 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 different colors across a website, high-end brands usually work within a very controlled palette. 2 or 3 main brand colors, maybe some secondary colors, and a neutral foundation. And consistent usage of those colors across every page. This consistency is what makes the brand feel cohesive and intentional. And if you're realizing your website might be sending mixed signals right now, comment website. Because most businesses don't struggle with pricing because of their skill. They struggle because their brand presentation isn't communicating the level of value they actually provide. The hidden problem with template websites. Templates are everywhere now. And to be clear, they're not inherently bad. If you're starting a business and you need to get online quickly, templates can absolutely serve that purpose. But here's the problem when you start trying to attract high-ticket clients. Templates are designed for mass use, which means hundreds, sometimes thousands of other brands are using the exact same structure. And luxury positioning depends on being exclusive. You can't be exclusive when your website looks mass produced. Tip number 5, templates without strategy always feel generic. When someone starts with a template and simply fills in their information, the result almost always feels generic because the structure of the site wasn't designed around that particular brand. It was designed for anyone and everyone. And luxury brands don't feel like everyone. They feel curated, which is why our process always starts with brand strategy first. Tip number 6, your website is not your brand. For some entrepreneurs, this is going to feel like a huge mindset shift. A website is not your brand. It's a container for your brand. The brand itself includes your strategy, your visual identity, your messaging, your positioning, and so much more. And when those elements don't exist yet, the website has nothing meaningful to express. Inside my agency, we always design the logo system, brand colors, typography, and visual identity before the website. And before we design anything, we develop the brand strategy, messaging, and positioning. Because the site should be an extension of the brand, not the genesis of it. The one fix that instantly elevates websites. If someone asked me what the biggest single improvement they could make to their website today would be, it's this: consistency. I see so many DIY websites where every page feels like it belongs to a different brand. One page uses one font, another page uses different colors. Photography styles change from section to section, and the user subconsciously experiences that as chaos. Tip number 7, brand consistency creates trust. Luxury brands are incredibly consistent. The same colors, the same typography, the same photographic style, the same visual language. When everything aligns visually, the brand immediately feels more professional and more trustworthy. And trust is what allows high-ticket clients to move forward faster. Now, if you're watching this and realizing your website might not be communicating the level of brand you want to build, that's actually a very normal place to be. Most entrepreneurs start by DIYing their brand, but eventually there comes a point where that early version becomes the ceiling on your pricing power, which is exactly why I offer a complimentary luxury brand audit. Inside the audit, I uncover the gaps in your brand positioning, in your authority, and your perceived value. And I show you how to start attracting higher level clients. So if you're ready to stop relying on discounts, volume, or constant content creation just to generate leads, book your luxury brand audit with the link below. And if you want to keep elevating your website, go watch this video next, where I break down 7 premium website design trends that can instantly up-level how your brand shows up online. Because once you understand the subtle signals that create perceived value, you start seeing website design very differently. I'll see you in that video.